and we're putting our money into other things as well, but they're the main things. I think I've bought one Chanel bag this year, and I did it because it was under £3,500. Hey everyone, if you are new, welcome and thank you for watching, and if you're one of my regulars, thank you so much for tuning back in again also. This year, some of you might have noticed that I've done a load less unboxings and hauls than I have done in previous years. And I know that this is also a perceptive thing, because here's the thing. A lot of you, I can see from the views, tune into the unboxings but don't necessarily tune into other videos. So to you it might feel like I've done loads of unboxings when actually they've been quite sporadic throughout the year, but they're the ones that you tune into. You might be watching and thinking, what are you talking about? You've done loads of hauls this year. Of course I have done hauls, but they have been a lot less expensive than in previous years. And there is a reason for it, and it is to do with money, and I need to tell you all about this. I need to tell you everything and share this with you. So the first reason why I've really cut down on it has been because the things in the shops, the things from these designer brands, this year in particular, have become so expensive that for me, I can't justify it. I have to really, really like something in order to go and spend money on it. And so many of my favourite brands, I feel are not, their prices now are not worth it. If I want to go and buy, like for example, one of my favourite brands, you used to be able to get a jacket in there for about £2,000. Now, not even joking, you're looking at 4,000. And 4,000 for a jacket that isn't even that warm, that's too much money. Whereas if you go to somewhere like Fendi, slightly different story, you can actually get a jacket in there for around about 1,000, definitely under 2,000. So that's why I've been more into Fendi this year. But yeah, that's the one biggest thing, and I've been talking to loads of you about it, and quite a lot of you agree that with all of these price rises, the quality of things haven't changed. Nothing's actually changed, but the price has gone up like 50%, sometimes more. And for me, there has been nothing this year, except for what I'm going to come on to in a second. There has been really nothing this year that I've looked at and thought, yeah, that's worth the money. That jacket is worth £4,000. There's been nothing that I've seen this year that I felt that way about. And I have said before, and I'll say it again, if something comes up that I really like, I will consider it. But I have to really like it. Gone are the days where I would go and buy something because I liked it. Now I have to love it. And that's because of the price rises. Back then, like, don't get me wrong, I've got loads of, I'm lucky to have lots of very nice pieces ready to wear and bags, etc. And I'm glad that I bought them when I did, because they weren't the prices they are now. Obviously they were still expensive, but they weren't stupid money. You know, you could look at a Balmain blazer and say, okay, it's £1,200, I get it. It looks expensive. Now, I don't know how much they are now. They're near 2,000. Would you pay that for them? I'm not sure. They're still nice, but would you pay nearly £2,000 for one? I personally wouldn't. Even though it's a gorgeous blazer, I'm glad that I bought it when I did. So that's the first thing. For me, everything's got too expensive and nothing feels special anymore. There are no new things coming out from a lot of these brands. It's the same things repackaged for more money. The second thing, and this is something that I'm so lucky about, is that actually I have everything that I want. As I mentioned, if there is something new that comes out, I always do this thing where before I go and buy it, I leave it for my mind to think about for at least 1 month. If after a month, if after 2, if after 3 months, then I know, okay, I don't think I'm going to get tired of this item because I feel like I really like it. Sometimes you can see something in that particular moment, you can feel like you really badly want it, but actually it's just you want it on a whim. And this is what I always say about small leather goods, is sometimes, let's say you walk into Chanel, you're saving up for a bag or a jacket or whatever it may be, and you're not quite there yet, and you want something. You don't care what it is, you just want something from Chanel that day. You want to walk out of the boutique with the little boutique bag and the box, And that's a particularly dangerous time where you can end up spending the money you're saving on something that you didn't really want, and you might end up regretting it. One of the other really big changes for David and I is that in the last year and a half, we've been working a lot harder on our investments and our savings. We have spent a lot more time being proactive and thinking in a more clever way about how we use our money and make sure that it's earning, as opposed to like not earning very much. You know, if you keep things in a savings account, you know what savings accounts are like. Even when interest rates go really high, you don't see that. You don't see that in your savings account. But we're also putting money into things like, you know, the car that I bought last week. I will link to that video actually. It's quite a cute video if you want to come to the dealership with me and pick up the car. It was quite a fun day. But that car, okay, a lot of you might think you buy a car, the minute you leave the dealership, it's depreciated. Yes, with certain cars. But I have bought a GT3, and the way the GT3 or the GT program works is exactly like Hermes. It's a carbon copy. There's all these different criterias that they put together in order to decide who gets a car. And to get allocation means that you get to spec the car how you want it, but it also means that the moment you leave the showroom, it is worth nearly double what you bought it for. In some cases, more than double, I'm not even joking, to a point where a lot of people resell them. You get a lot of people, go and have a look on Auto Trader, it's so interesting. You get a lot of people who are given allocation, they spec the car, the next week they flipped it, and that was always their plan for it. And you can get in a lot of trouble for doing that. I'd never do it because I've been driving that car and I love it. Everyone said to me, you're gonna hate that car. No, actually, it's a really good drive. I love it. I will do a video on what that car's like to drive. And I tell you what, I go and look at that car in the garage, and like the other night, I was just sat watching the TV with David, and I said to him, I need to go and have a look at that car. I can't believe I've got it. And I go and look at it in the garage and I can't believe it's there. But that's another thing that we've been putting our money into. And that's another reason why I haven't been doing these big shopping hauls, is because we are being smarter with our money. Don't get me wrong, when it comes to going out shopping, I don't go out and simply think, I can't buy that because it's not going to make me any money. Not at all. Although you know the kind of person I am, I like to save. I like to save some money. If I can get a coupon code, I'm very happy with that. I don't do that at all though. You know, if I go shopping and there's something I love or a piece of clothing, of course I know that piece of clothing is not going to make me any money. If I sold it the next day, it's going to lose me money for sure. The next thing that I've been doing this year, and probably quite a few of you might have noticed this, but I've been focusing more on lesser expensive bags from brands that are still iconic, still really cool, but they aren't ripping us off just yet. So for example, brands like Givenchy, brands like Balenciaga, and by the way, Balenciaga had a price rise. Must have been last week, it was a sneaky one. I noticed it because I've had my eye on a particular bag from there, but it's quite loud. And that's what kept putting me off. I was like, do I really want it? And I've been looking at it for 3 months now, 3 months rule. And just when I went to pull the trigger on it last week, it had gone up by a couple of £100. But in the hauls I've been doing, I've been showing you bags that are like, you know, the classic bag from Jacquemus, which has got the large top handle on it. That bag, you can, with a discount, you know, like on the discounts I give you on Farfetch, I actually have one at the moment, don't profit from it as normal, gets you 12% off. But those bags, you can get them for around about in the £500 mark, and they're a cool bag. Yes, I think they're trend, but they're a cool bag and they look good, and you've got a designer bag for a decent price. So as I say, the bags I've been looking at this year have not been Chanel, Dior, Louis Vuitton. They've not been the big expensive brands. I think I've bought one Chanel bag this year, and I did it because it was under £3,500. And that to me is like, okay, to get a Chanel bag for under 3,500 is actually quite good, and I love that bag. It's the Business Affinity, it's that pale pink one. But apart from that, no. And then the final thing is that I feel as though some of the designs from some of the design houses have gone a bit stagnant. They've gone a bit like boring. They haven't changed things up very much. It's the same things repackaged for more expensive. In other words, you know when you want to see something fresh, you know when you want to be tempted, you're thinking to yourself, come on here, tempt me, bring out something new, bring out something I haven't seen before, make me want that bag really badly, or make me want that piece of clothing really badly. And for me, this last year, like from all of these brands, it's the same. If we talk about bags, it's the same bags. There's not been really any new ones, and it's been the same bags for more money. And that's another reason why I haven't bought anything, is going back to that point, I feel like I've got everything I need anyway. But I think to myself, well, it's the same stuff. You know, as I say, if you're going to put the prices up, make the quality better, come out with fresh designs, come out with something that is amazing, that gets everyone really excited, not just the same thing repackaged for more. When it comes to YouTube in the luxury community, I should, but I don't actually watch luxury channels. I watch car channels, and you'll be confused. I watch cars and urban exploring channels where they go into derelict houses. I love it, and that's what I tend to watch. And also, there's another reason why I don't watch other luxury YouTubers, is because you can be really easily swayed into making videos that are exactly like theirs without even knowing it. So the way I feel is, if I don't watch it, then I can't unknowingly end up making videos just like theirs, so I don't watch it. I do it out of respect for them, you know that. You know, everyone should come up with their own content, keeps things fresh, keeps things exciting. That's a side topic, but that's what I think. But talking about that, because I don't watch any luxury channels, I don't know whether other people might have slowed down with their unboxings as well. I don't know. Maybe I need to go and look. If you're a luxury YouTuber and you're watching this, if you're thinking the same, if you're like, this year I've cut down. If you're just a regular viewer and you don't do social media and you don't plan on doing it, but you're the same, you kind of think, well, yeah, I've slowed down buying this year because of everything that's going on. Or maybe you're like, no, actually, I buy the same amount as I've always bought. Would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go and talk to you now in the comments.